Well, Sunday sees the 2019 Women's World Cup final take place. Defending champions, the United States, will be up against the European champions in the Netherlands. Myself, Tom McGarry and Chris Rivers talking you through what we think might happen in Lyon. And I think it's safe to say, Chris, we're both expecting the United States to go on and win the trophy once again. They're the #1 ranked team in the world, and they've looked impressive in getting through against host France in the quarterfinals and against England in the last four just a few days ago.
Yeah, they've certainly had the tougher route through, haven't they, as they look to become the first team to retain the Women's World Cup. And at this stage of the competition 4 years ago, they absolutely blew Japan away in the final, winning 5-2 on that occasion. And I don't think too many people would be shocked if they were to get the better of the Netherlands by quite a hefty margin as well. Given the gap in quality, you look at the performance of the US against England in the semi-finals, they were very, very good that night. They beat a good England side who you probably say would have got the better of the two sides in the other semi-final in Sweden and the Netherlands. The Netherlands really had to scrape and scrap their way through that semi-final, coming through via extra time. And it's no wonder that they're such big odds, 8-1 for the Netherlands to win in 90 minutes. It is very difficult, isn't it, Tom, to see them pulling it off?
Yeah, just a lack of experience. Their first World Cup final, as you mentioned, and they played 24 hours after the United States and were taken to extra time by Sweden, so tiredness could be a factor as well. The US are 2-11 to lift the trophy, and it really does seem difficult to see anything else happening in that regard. They've got plenty of real attacking options within their ranks as well. Megan Rapinoe was missing for the semi-final victory over England. She'd scored a brace in each of the two previous rounds, but Kristen Press comes in her place and scores the opener in that game. They've got Alex Morgan as well, the joint top scorer in the competition. There's plenty of options and plenty of firepower there. If one player's not hitting the ground running, then they can bring someone else in who's easily capable of going on to play a big role in the final.
Yeah, and in contrast, the Dutch looked a little bit lightweight up front. They've got Arsenal striker Viviane Medina leading the line for them, and she's got an excellent goal scoring record. She scored 3 times at this World Cup, but she lacks pace, and I do wonder how she'll get on against the athletic backline of the United States. However, I do think the Netherlands could pose a threat from corners. They've got a fantastic record of scoring from set pieces at this World Cup. 6 of their last 9 goals coming via set pieces. They hit the woodwork against Sweden the other night as well in the semi-finals. So USA have got to watch out from there. I'm looking at both teams to score at 5-6. Not a massive price, but I do think the fact the United States haven't kept a clean sheet in the knockout stages and the Netherlands looking so dangerous from corners may well mean that at least the Netherlands get a goal in their maiden appearance in a World Cup final.
Yeah, every one of the US knockout games has finished 2-1 in this competition so far. I think it might be a little bit more comprehensive than that. I can certainly see the Dutch scoring, as you mentioned, but perhaps the US could go on and win it quite convincingly. There's a compelling argument for that, and they're 3-1 to go on and win this game by 3 or more goals. They beat Japan, as we mentioned, 4 years ago, 5-2 in the final. It might not quite be that explosive and entertaining, but I could see a 4-1 result, something like that, potentially in the US's favour?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. The other thing I'd be looking at as well is for the US to hit the front early on. They've got a good knack of hitting the ground running, haven't they? Getting the early goal in the game, as they did against England in the semi-final. And so I'd be looking for them to be winning at half-time and full-time, which is at 5-4, if you're looking for something else to take your fancy. The Netherlands have looked a little bit tentative in the early stages of matches. They tend to come on stronger in the second half of the game, so I think the United States could well expose them early on.
So we're backing the United States to go on and taste World Cup final glory on Sunday. Let us know what you think. You can look us up on Facebook and on Twitter, and also don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube.